One of the most valuable ways that we can support our brain health specifically is through movement. We are designed to move. So let's do a quick practice together, moving and breathing and recognizing that we're supporting our physical well-being, our emotional well-being, and our mental well-being. So bringing hands to the heart in a recognition of these layers and dimensions of us. We're not this flat, one-dimensional being. We are so uniquely made and highly dimensional. Release your hands. Okay, take a big breath up. And as we're doing the big reach up and out, what are the things that really pique your interest? I mean, I know some of them, like writing, right? Creating. Breathe. Keep moving. What do you do to support your expansion of your brain, keeping yourself sharp? 2 more times. You're here moving, which is a huge one. I like to do puzzles. I know some of you probably love puzzles too. Arms down and to a T. Bring the right arm forward, place the right hand on the left shoulder. I may look opposite of you. Left hand, left shoulder. So you got the arms crisscrossed. Bow the head into the heart and lift your head. 2 more times. So you just bow the head, lift the head. Once more. And with a grand gesture, top arm expands out, opens wide. Second arm reaches out, opens wide, exhales down. Big breath up again. Go to the T, and now put the second arm, for me, it's my left, on first, left hand to right shoulder, and then the other arm is now on top. Just make sure you got the opposite. Breathe, and then head bow, head lift up. Yeah. You know what the research is about the heart? The heart is the brain. It's amazing how the flow from the heart just completely covers the brain. Open the arms, reach them out wide, exhale down. Yeah, it's in all the recent dissections and research about the heart brain. Hands to thighs, tip forward. So when you think about like doing something good for your brain, you might as well be thinking, well, am I doing something good for my heart? Is this really a good action coming from my heart? 2 more times. Once more, tipping forward, tipping upright, and then coming onto your sitting bones. Walk your feet back in, big breath up. Let's side bend. So right hand down is what I'm doing, but just get a side bend going. Both arms down, both arms up, and then second arm down. Yep, just keep it going. We're going to repeat. So you just start flowing through this at your pace as you breathe, knowing that all this movement through the spine that we've already been practicing is really good for the information highway. Yeah, the spine. And behind the spine is the spinal cord, right? Encased in it. Breathe. And this is all of our receptors and sensors and transmitters communicating information. Good. Finish it up. Take a big breath up. Make cactus arms. Turn the ribs to one side and then inhale center. And then keep that going from the rib cage. So the elbows are like coat hangers. So the elbows aren't moving forward or back from the shoulder girdle. The movement that you see of your arms is because your ribs are turning, which means you're turning your spine, right? You're taking your spine in and out of a twist. Keep going. Also in the research is that a majority of what the brain is doing is listening. Like that blows your mind right there, right? The thing you think that's like the smarts of you is mostly listening. That's almost all of its energy is listening to the information coming in. Push into your feet. We're going to rise and then sit down. Yeah, repeat that. Push into your feet and rise. Perfect job. Do 2 more. Yeah, so the heart and its vessels and its vascular structure just completely envelopes the brain. Finish here. And then the brain is listening. Then you have to say, well, what's the brain listening to? And the researchers are saying, well, everything, but it listens a lot to the heart. Step the right foot forward, left leg back. Breathe. Pushing into both feet. Back leg arm, raise it up. And then maybe consider the front leg arm. So you're balancing here. And as you breathe in this shape of a high lunge, seeing if you can discover a greater relationship between the heart and the head. Like, where's the head in relationship to the heart? Is the head trying to be ahead of the heart, like forward and dropping down when we're looking at devices? Or in this moment, are you able to really feel that the head maybe rests a little bit back and the heart is lifting up? So the heart's leading, and that becomes a standing back bend. Wait for the next exhale, hands down, push with the front foot, step the back leg forward. Let's switch. So in this lunge position with the back heel lifted and the feet pulling together, breathe. Back leg arm up and just keep breathing. When you're ready and you feel like, yeah, balance is all right today, continue to pull the feet towards each other and then go back into the curiosity of where is my head in relationship to my heart. And you guys, we all do it. Me, you, all of us. We check in with our beloveds on our devices. A message comes in. We check in with information that's important to us on our devices, but it drops our head down. So in this moment, allow the heart to lift and the head to rest back. So the heart is leading, because it is. And the research on the body is starting to bear that out. Exhale, arms down, push with the front foot, step the back leg forward. Walk back and let's take a wide-legged L pose. Bend the knees, lifting your sitting bones. Keep a lift of the rib cage. There's some new language now that's been around for a while, but we're all just really loving the word rib cage. But to start thinking about the rib cage not as a cage, because it's not. A cage you think is immobile, doesn't move, but rather to think of it as a basket. Things fill this basket. One more breath cycle. A lot of your major organs are protected inside this basket. Breathe, let the basket expand. All right, walk forward and stand up. Let's do Virabhadrasana 1. So this time, right foot forward, left leg back, and put the back heel down. Turning your pelvis towards your chair, back leg arm first, up, and then second arm. Once again, return to the relationship of heart and head and play with it. And then see if you can let the heart lift more and the head move back more. It's a complete antithesis of us for a majority of our day and how we are relating with the world, right? Breathe. Exhale, hands down, push with the front foot, step the back leg forward, switch sides. Warrior 1, back heel down, pelvis oriented towards your chair with a steady press from your back leg buttock to your heel. In breath, the back leg arm up. Go for the second arm and keep breathing. And as you stay with your breath, yeah, you know the dance. It's heart and head, so go for it. Just explore it. 2 more breath cycles. Exhale the arms down, push with the front foot, step the back foot forward. Walk back L pose again, bend the knees, spread the toes. Oh, even spread the fingers. Here, as you are in L pose, you are in this state of listening, right? This practice that we do together helps us cultivate our ability to listen to ourselves. So hear your breath moving. Take in the sensations of this shape. Every day, the sensations of this shape that, it can feel different. One more breath cycle. Walk forward and stand. Turn your chair seat to face you. Take a wide stance. So I have the chair to the right of me. Doesn't matter which side you're starting on. I'll cue back leg, front leg. Back leg furthest from the chair turns in, chair leg, the one really close to it, turns open. Arms stretch up, bend your front knee, come into your knee bend. And let's take 2 breath cycles here with these long, gorgeous arms. Breathe. Feeling this relationship between heart and head and where are they, right? That skill of like, where are parts of me in space? Where are they in relationship to each other is called proprioception, and a huge concept that this practice really helps us. Okay, front arm to back shoulder. So your front hand, take it to the back shoulder. This is crisscrossed arms from the warm up. And then, other hand on top. Balance the head with the tips of the elbows, so your head centering through the center of the chest. Do 2 head bows. Then lifting the head, side bend. Add a side bend. Good. Push more into the back foot. Inhale, come up. Open the arms out, lengthen the front leg, stand in the back foot, and come into triangle pose. Breathe. Take your top arm, add a bigger expansion by reaching overhead, going beyond whatever thoughts are in your mind, right? And they're now even like, thought is not even in the mind. They've got these new sensors now. We've got so much imaging and ability to diagnostically and on research levels understand ourselves maybe a little bit better. And thoughts are actually where they can pick them up are outside the skull. That's crazy to me. So your thoughts aren't even in your head, is what the research is starting to say. It's in the field of you. Push into your back foot and come up, reverse your triangle pose. That's just crazy research to me. I'm like, that is so wild. But as yoga people, right, as people who've been practicing and experiencing the body, mind, and the heart through a physical form, there's a lot of that where we're like, yeah, I felt that. I felt that. Arms to a T and release them. Heel toes the feet in. Yeah. And we know we can feel the energy of a room of people, right? You can feel it. You just enter the room and you can tell if somebody's kind of upset, right? You energetically can sense it. So you know something's out there beyond inside their head, right? You'd be like, are you mad? And the person's like, I'm not mad. You're like, yes, you are. And they're like, okay, I am. Back foot turns in, front foot turns open. Breathe. Sweep your arms up. So a lot of it's still a mystery, right? Breathe. Come into a knee bend, arms to a T. So we'll hold this shape of the space of your heart reaching beyond and out in every direction into the field. That is your environment. It's where you live. It's where you create. It's where you write and puzzle. All right, so ready? Front arm to back shoulder, and then back arm to front shoulder. So you made those crisscross arms again. And then drop your head in, center it up through the center of your chest. You just got 2 head bows. Finish up on the next head bow, balancing the head in relationship to the heart. Side bend. Boy, this is such a protective gesture of holding what's sacred. And if you're like, man, the brain's listening to the heart, the brain is the heart. Right? Push with your back foot. Inhale and come up. Open your arms wide. Lengthen your front leg. Head into triangle pose. The wonderful thing is that as a human being, we are so highly curious. And we love using our minds. We love thinking about these things. And we have so many great philosophers across time. And they show up as poets sometimes. Push into the back foot, come up, reverse it. They show up in as musicians, right? Singing songs, which is just another form of poetry. They show up as writers. They show up as mathematicians, as theologians. Man, they show up everywhere. They show up as a clerk in the grocery store. Somebody who gives you a piece of wisdom at exactly the right moment in the most crazy place, like while you're pumping gas, arms to a T. Release your arms, heel toe your feet in. Breathe. L pose again, chair to the top and breathe. You're doing fantastic. Stay with breath, stay with feeling sensation, because we know there's a whole large part of us that is just listening. So tap into that skill. One more breath cycle, listening to yourself. All right, walk forward and stand up. A little bit of balance. Figure four. So I have my right leg closest to the chair. That'll also be the leg that crosses over, the leg closest. So cross it over and then sit. As you sit back, add an ankle rotation. Then go the other way. Looking good. Push into your standing foot. Come on up. Go right into tree pose and then side bend over towards your chair. Yes. In-breath up. Virabhadrasana 3. So standing leg, still the outside leg. Leg closest to the chair reaches back. And then start in a low airplane where you just lift the back leg up. It's off the ground. The heart's lifted, the head's still pressing back. So the heart's still leading. And then even as you tip over, try not to let the head fall first. Move the heart out. Move the heart out. You're just practicing like what it is you are. You're amazing heart being, not a brain being. In breath, rise. Okay, let's do the other side. So chair to second side. Start with figure four. So outside leg, standing leg. Leg closest to the chair is your gesture leg. Sit down and breathe. Ankle rotation when it feels ready to do. And then just after a couple circles in one direction, go ahead and get that other direction. Push into the standing foot, rise up. Come into a tree pose shape. Then when you're ready, lateral bend to your chair and breathe. Nice work. Use an in-breath. Come on up. Moving into warrior 3 shape. So start with the inside leg moving backwards into low airplane. And before you go anywhere else, get the relationship of heart and head, just like you practiced in high lunge and warrior. Like, where's that relationship? Heart leading, head pressing back, and then move from the hip joint on the standing leg and forward fold, any amount. One more breath cycle. In breath and rise. Good, foot on the ground. Let's take one more L pose, then we'll be coming down to the floor. So bend the knees, and as you take this shape, listen. Walk forward and stand. All right, you ready to come down to the floor? So you can move your chair off to the side if that's helpful. And if it's easier for you to get to the floor using your chair, go ahead and move the chair nearby so that you can easily get to the floor. All right, once you're on the floor, let's be in all fours just for a moment, for a moment in all fours. So from seated maybe on the floor to hands and knees down. Breathe. Step the right leg back, toes tucked. Now, this is an easy one to drop the head. And we've been working on the relationship of head and heart. So breathe and keeping the heart pulling forward, even though, and forward in this shape is not the floor, it's forward beyond the crown of the head. So, yeah, just feel that. And then raise the back leg up, opposite arm forward, thumb skyward. 3 more breath cycles in this balance of the center of us. Well, anatomically, we know the center is the core. Philosophically, the center is the heart, where unconditional love resides. Okay, hand down, knee down. Let's go, other side. Breathe, second leg back, push into the toe hinge. If your head's dropped, just pick it up. Once you got your head level with your spine, heart moves forward. That means like through the shoulder girdle, and it's trying energetically to expand beyond the head, and it just does it. Once you think about it, you can feel it. Like you're like, wow, my heart. When you're ready, back leg up, opposite arm up, thumb up on the arm in the air, thumb to ceiling, and breathe. And then just checking back in with the relationship of head and heart, because this is a core balance, and the tendency will be to drop the head, right? Seeing if the head can keep pressing back, which means to the ceiling. Okay, hands down, knee down. Lower onto your belly, and put your hands underneath your head, pressing down through your pelvis on both sides. Use a little bit more press of the left leg down and reach it out, keeping it on the ground. And then reach out through the right leg and then lift it up. So as you went to lift the right leg up, you have this ability to listen to the pelvis and, hey, is the pelvis still equally weighted on both sides as the right leg's up? That's what we're going for. So you can always put the leg down, reweight the pelvis, keep it evenly balanced, and reapproach lifting the right leg. One more breath cycle, and then right leg down. Keeping right leg down, right leg reaching out as it's pressing into the earth. Extend the left leg across your mat. And once again, using your amazing skill to listen to yourself, feeling both sides of your pelvis equally weighted. Breathe. And when you're ready, left leg up and keeping the weight on both sides. Yeah, that's a dance, right? So it's dynamic. You can feel yourself responding in different ways. Knowing that big exhales help release tension in the neck, shoulders as you try to hold your leg behind you in the air. 2 more breath cycles. Finishing up. Man, raising my leg up behind me makes me sweat. Slide your hands by your chest wall. Press yourself up. Let's flip around and lay down on our backs. We'll do a bridge pose where we really allow the heart to continue to lead. Head's going to stay back just because of the form of the pose. So heels down and walk the heels in so they line up with the sitting bones, and also heels are walked back towards the buttocks as much as possible that your knee joint will tolerate, so that knee is over ankle. So just give yourself a moment to play with that alignment check. And then push the arms down. Yeah, bigger push of the arms down. They're pressing back, just like the head is pressing back. Keeping a slight press back of the head, push with your feet and your arms, and come on up into bridge. Now, we'll repeat this a couple more times. This first one, you just want to feel your way, like, how's this bridge feel? Do I need to shift my feet on the next one? Do I need to readjust my arms? What's going on? Yeah, so all that listening. Wait for the next exhale and lower down, right? So what could be a better foundation? Like, I just moved my upper arm so I could have a better upper arm foundation. Breathe. And now in the second one, as the head presses back and the feet press and the arms press, can you let the heart lead the lift? We usually will say, like, pick your pelvis up, right? Because it's the big centerpiece. Sure, yes. And can the heart lead the lift? Go when you're ready. So now with your eyes, you're taking in, or maybe you're taking it in through the sensory system of your nervous system, right? The sensory nerves. What lifted? And did the heart really expand when you came up into bridge? Did it lead it? Was it the first thing, or did it like happen at the end? Wait for the exhale, come down. And we'll practice that one more time. The head's already back. Head's already back. We know the power has to come from the legs and the pelvis has to come up, but we're shifting focus to like, well, could the center of the heart space be leading already? Ready? Press the arm bones down. Let the center of the heart lift. Let it lead, and pelvis is rising simultaneously. But the heart is what we're after is the highest point. 2 more breath cycles as you root into the feet so that the pelvis is supported by the amazing muscles of your legs, your buttocks, and your spine. 1 more breath cycle. And then lowering your bridge down. Draw a single knee into chest. Doesn't matter which one. Just pick the knee that's saying, pick me, and bring it in. Breathe. Go to the other leg and hug it in. Foot on the ground, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. So you've entered bound angle pose supine. Use your feet and press. Let your arms move out laterally into any angle where you feel that the space of the heart has the opportunity to be a little bit more spacious. 1 more breath cycle. And then closing the legs. So last movement is shoulder clock, which really is a practice in letting the heart lead and the head following. So lay on your side, stack your arms like a gator chomp, and with your pelvis and shoulders stacked as the start position, the top arm goes up over your head. It's a clock, so it's going up over your head, which is like 12 o'clock, circling back behind you, returning to your pelvis area, and then stacking on the bottom arm. So that's the clock. Keep it going. And as you keep it going, think about the rib basket, right? So instead of the arm leading this and the head leading it, let the rib basket lead it. And then even getting more specific about the rib basket, let the rib basket portion of the heart space lead it. The arm and the head are following it. So will you look backwards? Oh yeah, if your heart's turning, your head's going to look and be like, what are you looking at, heart? What are you sensing and feeling? As the brain is following and listening to the heart. Last time. At least we hope, right? That's what's going to help us across time as human beings, to remember that. Okay, second side, stacking shoulders and pelvis, arms in your gator chomp. Breathe. When you're ready, begin your clock. And again, the arms going over your head, circling behind you, coming to your pelvis, and then restacking to the gator chomp. Now, as you keep it moving, first just listening like, how am I doing this? Right? That's that first step in to listening well. Like, what is occurring? What's going on? And then not judging what's happening, exploring what's possible next. Rib basket leading, arm and head following. Getting more specific about the rib basket, that it's the spaciousness of the heart leading so that the arm and the head are following. Finish up on the next one. As you complete and the arms are in the gator chomp position, fold the elbows, roll onto your back, draw your knees into your chest, and then move into a happy baby shape. So it's like that plie squat. Knees are wide, hands are drawing from the edges of you back to the center of you with a steady hold of some part of leg or foot. Breathe. There are so many things that help our brain. There are so many different practices and things that we do that we love and enjoy that connect our heart to our mind, that really increase the relationship, from gardening to tending to family members to taking a quiet time, maybe relaxing as the sun goes down or soaking in a tub, to reading a book. Breathe. To listening to our favorite music. So bringing the legs down, drawing them in close, feet to the floor, and we'll just rest for a moment in the space of our heart in recognition that our mind, our physical brain, its primary function is a listening device. It's listening. So listen to your own heart. When you feel ready, take your hands into any gesture that is a recognition of the sacredness of your own heart. And the things that we do for our heart that help our heart expand are so valuable for our brain health. Thank you for joining me to practice today.